Hello, lovely learners. Welcome back to A Life Learned. I apologize for the delay or the lack of output for videos in the last few months. I have honestly been reluctant to put anything out because if you hadn't noticed, my technology has changed a little. And by that I mean I still have all the same equipment, but someone suggested that I update my OS system, and that ruined the whole thing. Just like the whole system that I had running has just gone to crap. And I haven't been able to figure out how to make it work again. So I apologize for the sound, and if you have to turn up your volume more than usual to hear me, I apologize for the setup being a little different. Let's just move on to the topic at hand. So, the reason I finally decided to get over my tech issues and put out a video is because after 3 years of managing to avoid it, I have been cursed with the reality of testing positive for COVID. That was yesterday, but in reflection, I came to realize that I actually started experiencing symptoms on Thursday, and they got to the point of me actually like questioning if it was COVID by like Friday night, Saturday morning, like, AM sort of thing. And so, with all that reflection and the incubation time in mind, it occurred to me when I was reflecting on my week last week that I feel pretty positive where I picked it up. I feel almost certain that it was at the gym. And so that's why I wanted to have this conversation with you guys, because I know, like, we've all been experiencing pandemic stress for multiple years now. We're tired of all this crap. Like, I honestly haven't gotten a fourth booster. I got three, but after three, because it like kicks the crap out of me. And it's not that it takes me out sickness wise, but it takes out my arm. I can't use my arm for like 48 hours. It's in so much pain. And so all that and everything, I've gotten tired of having to get shots, so I haven't gotten my fourth booster. And in that sense, I'm feeling lucky that the only symptoms I'm really having are like sore sinuses and a sore throat at most, maybe a little bit of a cough. So, definitely get vaxxed because I think that's influencing why it's not so bad for me. I am honestly considering the fourth booster now that I have caught it. I'm not sure. But more than anything, I feel relatively positive with all of that they've learned about how that like COVID doesn't last very long on surfaces. It's like 3 to 5 minutes and it dies. That the main way to catch COVID is through aerosol, and so through someone projecting it into the air and then you picking it up within 3 minutes before it hits the ground, kind of thing. And when I went to the gym last Tuesday, the gym is one of very few places that I've decided to start relaxing on wearing masks. So to clarify, I still wear masks on public transit. I still wear masks when I go into stores that are like full of people. The only times I don't wear a mask going into a store is if I feel like it's like a downtime, it's not very busy, and I forgot my mask and I need to go in real quick. And I will like do everything I can to stay 6 feet away from people when I'm in that situation. And those have been like maybe a handful at most. More than anything, basically the only public space where there are larger groups of people that I haven't been masking is the gym. And the truth of that is because, I mean, for anyone who goes to the gym, we all know wearing a mask is 10 times more stressful because you're hyperventilating basically, right? Like you're getting your heart rate up and you're already breathing heavy and sweating. So putting a mask on top of that is really stressful and no fun. And honestly, like for all of 2021 and a good portion of 2022 when I was going to the gym, I was wearing a mask the whole time. I was like, whatever, I don't care. I'm wearing a mask. I don't fucking want COVID. But 3 years in, feeling like cases have been tapering, we aren't hearing about them, exploding as much. I guess I was just starting to finally feel like I could relax a little. I still mask in places, like I said, and forevermore, I will always, because I don't care if COVID ends, I have now learned my lesson that I do not know where you've been. And it's just a fact. Like, I don't know if you were just in China yesterday. I don't know if you were down in South America 2 days ago or a week ago. Like, I don't know where you've been traveling, right? And I don't know who you've been in contact who's been traveling. I just don't know. That's a reality that the pandemic has introduced to me. So I'm like, you know what? Lesson learned. Moving forward, I'm masking whenever I go on an airplane, whenever I go on a bus, whenever I go in a place where I have to be shoulder to shoulder with people that I do not know, I'm masking. So like I went to, excuse me, a theater for my nephew's birthday a couple weeks ago, and I think I was the only one in the theater wearing a mask. but that mattered to me because I was shoulder to shoulder with people I didn't know. They were like right in front of me. So it's just like, I'm not risking it. I don't see the point because other than getting COVID just now, I have not gotten sick in all of these 3 years. Like not even a cold, nothing. And before the pandemic, I was infamous for getting sick all the time. I always had a cough or a cold or a runny nose or something going on. And so the fact that I've been able to avoid not just COVID, but like basic colds just by masking regularly and washing my hands a little bit more, I'm like, dude, that is enough evidence for me. I hate being sick. I was always sick before. I basically never got sick once I started masking. Just it seems like simple math in my opinion, right? Like, I don't know. That's just me. I totally respect that, but it is my choice, right? Like we have autonomy. Certainly in Canada and in North America we do, where we're allowed to choose to mask or unmask. At least we do in Ontario because it's not mandatory here. And that's one thing that I'm really frustrated by is that because mask mandates have been lifted, and I think it's almost been like a year since they've been lifted here, maybe even more. I'm not sure anymore because I never paid attention to it. I was like, I don't care if it's mandated. I want to wear a mask because I don't want to get sick. And now here I am starting to relax. Bam, got COVID. I had never caught it before. Like, and when I was at the gym, when I was coming back from doing all my stuff and was going to change, there was a girl in there that was just hacking and coughing. And I remember thinking to myself, like, ugh, that's awful. Like, why aren't you wearing a mask? And now I feel a little dumb that I didn't like call her out and be like, hello, why are you just coughing into the air? Not only are you not wearing a mask, but you're not even coughing into your elbow. Like, you're just like, blah, blah, sharing it. Thanks. Thanks so much. Like, you're lucky that I was vaxxed because I could have got really fucking sick. But, all long story short, what I'm trying to come around to is I wanted to ask you guys what you thought about masking after all this. Like I know again we've all been through this pandemic stress and we're tired. We're tired of having to wear masks when we never used to have to. We're tired of, like I said, having to get these boosters that we never used to have to worry about, and all the stress that comes around it and the anxiety and the worry. I get that, 100%. But I just want to get some feedback on people's perspective on masking when sick, specifically when you're sick. Because here's the thing, in Eastern countries, it has been a custom for, I don't even know how long, decades and decades and decades, maybe like ever since masks were, like medical masks were designed, I don't know. But for the longest time, it has been a custom within Eastern countries that if you are sick and you have to go in public, you have no choice, you can't stay home, you wear a mask to respect your fellow people. Whereas here in North America, our approach is, oh, I have a cold, guess I gotta go to work because capitalism, gotta pay the bills. Oh, look, you have a runny nose, guess you caught my cold. Ha ha ha. And it's like, no, I didn't just like reach out and catch it. You actually like fucking shared it with me. Excuse my French, sorry, I'm getting angry. Because I don't understand at this point, after 3 years in a pandemic, why here in North America we haven't all gotten it through our head that it is common decency for your fellow citizen that if you are sick, stay home. And if you can't for some reason, if you gotta go to work, and I just want to highlight this chick was at the fuck gym. Sorry, I keep swearing because I'm really angry that I caught COVID after so long. But like, she did not have to go to the gym. That was not an essential trip. Let's just be real, okay? So she was sick. She was very clearly sick. She should have skipped the gym that day and stayed home and respected everybody, respected the people around her. But not only did she not stay home, but she did not respect that she was going into public sick, and she did not mask. And she did not cough into her elbow. She did not do literally any of the things that we've been taught to do during the pandemic to respect each other and to not spread illness. Why? Can you guys just like humor me for a moment? And I'm open to people who think that what she did was the right thing, that she had every right to do that. Okay, so please explain to me, where her head was at. Like, why, after 3 years of hundreds of thousands of people dying, lots of people that she would have known and been connected to catching it and suffering and then having to recover, why do people like her still not care? Why is it not in their general thought of consideration of others? I'm sick. If I can, I should stay home. If I can't stay home, I need to wear a mask. I need to respect other people's health. Like, I just don't get it. I'm going to be that person moving forward that is the rare commodity or entity in North America where when I am sick and I have to go in public, even if it's not COVID, I'm gonna mask. But because of this experience, and because I've known this since before this experience, that North Americans just aren't getting it through their head, that it's respect, it's just general respect to mask if you're sick in public. That's why I keep masking in public spaces, because I can't trust the people around me to mask when they're sick. So I'm going to mask whether I'm sick or not because I don't want your sickness. But here I am. I relaxed just a little and I got COVID. And yes, I totally acknowledge that it could have been another situation. Like, between when I started realizing I was having symptoms and testing and when I actually caught it, there were a number of days. And so it could have been in any of those days in multiple situations, although I do know that I wasn't out very much. Like, it was mostly between my placement and home, and like maybe one or two stores in between, or one or two stops in between. But that was my whole second half of my week after going to the gym on Tuesday. So yeah, I am pissed. I'm very frustrated. I don't necessarily promote being prideful, but I was genuinely prideful up until yesterday that I could say, I still haven't caught COVID. I still mask, and one of my reasons is because I haven't caught COVID and I don't want to. And here I am relaxing minorly, and bam, COVID. So yeah, anyway, this is my evidence that I'm always going to use whenever anyone tries to make me justify wearing a mask. Not only am I going to like rip their head off and shit down their throat, just for the opportunity to take the emotions out on them because I'm so angry about it. And by that I mean I hopefully will be calmer and be a lot more respectful in the moment. But oof, I'm angry now. But I will always feel justified wearing a mask. And after this experience and feeling relatively certain about who I think I caught it from, I'm gonna be calling people out in public moving forward. Not just like, hey, you should be masking because I think so, but more specifically when I hear someone hacking and coughing and I know they're not wearing a mask and I can see that they're not even caring to like cover their cough and like restrain it, I am calling them out because they need to be called out, because they need to recognize that they are not only disrespecting everyone, they are putting people at risk. And that is not a right that you have. It's just not. I hope we can agree on that point. But anyways, so all in all, I guess the general message here is I'm mad. I caught the COVIDs. Freaking mad about it. I'm mostly mad because I know I could have avoided it. I mean, and maybe I still would have caught it. Masks are not foolproof, and I do acknowledge that as well. But 3 years of not catching it, it's hard not to think that if I had just masked in that situation, I would have had a good chance of avoiding her. So what do you guys think? What do you think about masking? Are you still masking? Are there situations that you do mask and you don't mask? What do you think about the fact that this girl and people in North America and various other westernized countries, my cat, sorry, are choosing after 3 years of all of this to still just not mask and not vaccinate? I'm curious. Please share your thoughts. And if you can somehow reason why this girl would be so disrespectful, and I guess a better word would be ignorant. I like to think that she wasn't actively thinking about being disrespectful. She wasn't actively thinking, I want to hurt people and spread my COVID. I mean, hell, she probably didn't realize she had it. But why people are so able to ignore acknowledging their situation, right? Like, she was hacking and coughing. She definitely should have tested and she never did. Why people haven't learned their lesson, so to speak. Like I said at the beginning of this video, it is a custom and has been a custom for a long time in Eastern countries that if you are sick and you have to go in public, you respect other people's wellness and you wear a mask. Why isn't that becoming a custom here in North America? I don't get it. Please share your thoughts. I mean, we're all just people with opinions, so this isn't exactly a fact-based thing, but I'd love to hear what you think. I'm so frustrated, and I guess I just wanted to vent that I think we can do better. I know we can do better. So I hope that you do choose to do better. Um, and that you know that you have every right to hold people accountable to being better as well, especially after everything we've been through. And as always, other than sharing your thoughts about masking and the pandemic, if you have anything else related that you'd like to share, please do share in the comments below. And as always, join me again, probably not next week, but sometime soon, where I try again to share a little something I've learned and experienced in life.